Right, everybody, welcome to the channel. It is April 26th, Wednesday. A lot of us have free entries today. Thankfully, PrizePicks came through in the clutch. They're blessing us with free entries. It's a pick 5. Make sure you don't take that pick 5 until you're confident in what you're going to do. If you don't use it today, it won't disappear. It'll still be there. They did this last year as well, but we had to jump through hoops and do a challenge. That tells me that over the last year, PrizePicks has gained tons of traction, tons of money. They're crushing it. So now all I had to do was place a $5 entry, and I have a $5,000 entry. Some of you guys have different ones, but that being said, I will do my best to make sure that we crush. If you're new to the channel, this is what I do. I go over all the props on the board for the NBA slate. We have 4 games today. I discuss the spreads, and then we go live on TikTok later today where I make all your slips. We make questions and answers. We do it all, folks. And then we do it on Twitter. I do props. That being said, let's get into it. Today, New York Knicks, Cleveland Cavaliers, 5.5 point spread. Over under 202 total. Abysmal total. It is what it is. Probably going to stay away from there except for Jalen Brunson and maybe 1 or 2 others. Next, Grizzlies, Lakers, 4 point spread. It's moved. 222.5 over under, juicy total. Next, look at this spread. Miami Heat plus 12, insane. Over under 220, followed by the Warriors and Kings, 1.5 point spread, over under 234. This is going to be the game we target the most. I don't think a lot of the lines are up yet, but that's probably where I will be looking to go. I want to take a quick look at Thrive real quick because they're doing a promotion today. If you're a new user, promo code CRUSH, you get the free square, which is Klay Thompson today, and on the pick 5s, you get a 21x payout. So basically, if you have the new user and use that code, you'll have Klay for your first square, and then you get 4 frees for 21x. What I got is Jalen Brunson over 23.5 points, RJ Barrett 23.5 PRA over, Austin Reeves under 23.5 PRA, Jimmy Butler over 29.5 real points, and Jordan Poole over 17.5 real points. I will get 21x on this for submitting it. And again, if you're a new user, you'll have that free square, which is going to be Klay Thompson. Substitute him for your least favorite on here because it's a max of 5 for 21x. All right. Let's take a look at PrizePicks where we go over and get our fantasy scores. I'll do my best to make sure that we can get this bag, but it's going to be on to you guys to make sure you read between the lines. All I can do is provide the information. It's up to you to build the slip and take the ones you like. We had a lot of W's yesterday. A lot of people won. My main slip went 5 of 6. Unfortunately, my play of the day, Marcus Smart, he sold. That's back-to-back play of the days that I've had sell. Guys, it happens. I went on a streak where I had 9 play of the days hit every day, and then now I'm 2 out of the last 2 they both missed. It happens. Okay, you have to be okay losing some nights on even what you consider to be your quote locks. There's no such thing as a lock, but you know what I mean. Absolutely, Jalen Brunson, 38.5 fantasy points. I already can tell you right now he's going to be in play. We're not taking unders on Jalen Brunson today. He's in play. 38.5. I prefer his real points, to be honest with you, but I will take his fantasy score in some. Donovan Mitchell, he put up the stinker of all stinkers last game. Check this out. 20 fantasy points last game. He was held to 2 real points in the second half and 1 assist, I believe. It's absolutely ridiculous how bad he's been trending down this series. They're going to lose, and they're going to get beat big league unless Donovan Mitchell comes back hard and he decides to show up. That being said, if you want to target Donovan Mitchell, I don't mind it. Me personally, I'm undecided on Donovan Mitchell. That's why it's important that you tune into the live stream so we can talk about these stuff, because I don't really know if he's going to be anywhere near my main slip or not. But I won't take the under. I just don't know if I'm going to take the over. It'll probably just be a stay away for me. Okay? Julius Randle, I don't know what's going on with him. Last game, he got benched. The coach, he just wasn't interested in how he was playing. Check this out. 30 fantasy points, 26 fantasy points, and 12 fantasy points. This is a guy that used to go for 60 fantasy points for like 2 weeks straight back in the regular season. I have no idea what's going on with him. Again, they're human beings. Some of you will say, oh, Julius Randle's washed. Absolutely horrible take. Julius Randle is a stud. Whatever's going on with him, I don't know. He's still a great basketball player. I'm not going to take the under or the over on this prop today, but that's there for you guys to deliberate on, okay? Next, RJ Barrett, 26.5 fantasy score. He stepped up. He's a role player. He came to play. He's the reason the Knicks have been getting these W's. Check this out, the last 2 games. Randle's been having a bad game. Barrett steps up, 32-34. I don't really believe that he's a great NBA player as far as fantasy points goes. He's an extremely good shooter and a decent defender. I will take the over on his fantasy score. I would prefer probably his PRA or his real points, to be honest. Don't be surprised if Julius Randle comes out tonight and has a smash game and Barrett has a stinker, because that's just how this goes. You have to be able, if you watch basketball, you know the way this goes. They're playing the same team. Adjustments are made. I will be not surprised at all if Julius Randle comes out and crushes and RJ Barrett has a stinker. So keep that in mind when you make your slips. But just know RJ Barrett's fantasy score is in play, as is his real points. I will go over the real point props after. For now, I'm covering fantasy score. Okay, so these are your first two guys that I like. Let's move on to some of these Cavs. Karis LeVert has been getting some love lately from the community. I'm not buying it. 26 fantasy points. I'm not buying into this. I think that he had a good game because the main studs on that team were doing bad. I'm not going to touch this prop. Same thing with Jarrett Allen. Same thing with Evan Mobley. Even though I love Evan Mobley a lot, I just don't want to target these Cleveland. There's just way too many other opportunities for a slip than to target these guys. The only two guys the three guys that I would target from this game are right here: Brunson, Mitchell, Barrett, or Randall. That's the triangle. Look, it's an upside down triangle. That's who you need to target. It's the worst point total on the slate. You've seen these games. They're super low scoring. I just don't want anything to do with it except for those guys. And even then, I'm not thrilled with it. So let's get into a game that actually matters. Let's get into a game that actually has a lot of points to be scored. And we got King James. 51.5 fantasy points for LeBron James. Like I said all series long, I'm never fading the King. If I want to not take his prop, I won't take the under, but I'll just take the over, or I'll fade the prop. If you want to take the over on LeBron, 100% in play. I'm going to go over here real quick and check LeBron's fantasy score per minute for you folks. 1.44 fantasy points per minute. Okay, over the season, it's 1.46. So, you already know. Take 1.46 and multiply it times 35, because that's how many minutes LeBron plays, and you get 51.1. And what do you know? 51.5. They're right on the money with him. That's why LeBron is always a 50-50. But I don't take the unders on him here. I'm just going to, if you want to take them over, as I said, you can. All right. Anthony Davis, this prop has been moving up and down. I saw it at 52. I saw it at 54. Now it's at a nice even 53. 100% in play for AD. He put up not that good of a game last game. Check it out. 42 fantasy points. That's a great game, but not for his standards, is it? I mean, you guys know AD. He had, 10 real points last game? I don't even know. He had 4 in the fourth quarter. I don't know how much he finished with because I ended up going to bed, but I know that it wasn't up to his standards. I know that he can bounce back and have a monster game at any time, get blocks and steals. 100% in play. The two studs are always in play. Now, the man that sold everyone last game, myself included, he cost me 5 of 6. Ja Morant, 48.5 fantasy score. Will I go back to Ja Morant? Absolutely. Do I think he's 100% healthy? No, I don't. But I know that they need to win. I know that they have to win. He's just like Anthony Edwards to me. If Anthony Edwards can go up against the Denver Nuggets and get 46 fantasy points night in and night out, do I honestly believe that Ja Morant can't get 48.5 fantasy points against the LA Lakers? Come on, fam. Of course he can. He's 100% in play. If you don't want to take his fantasy score, you can look at his PRA. You can look at his real points. But again, he's in play. We talked about Desmond Bane on this channel the last time they played. I said he's due for a big game, and what do you know? Desmond Bane, 48 fantasy points last game out of nowhere. He bust, and then 48. That's how this works. This is how this works. Let this be a lesson. These last 5, they don't mean anything. It's literally just here to play with your psychology and to play with your emotions. It doesn't mean a thing. These guys, they're crushers, they're studs, they're the best in the world at what they do. When they step on the court, you best believe they can go off any given day. There is no such thing as a banned list that makes sense. There's no such thing as a salesman that makes sense. These guys, they can get it done on any given day. That's why all we can do is look at the math and see what happens. Am I taking Desmond Bane tonight? Absolutely not. Will I target his fouls? Yes, but I don't think he's going to go back out there tonight and reproduce that performance because that was way above his average. So I just wanted to cover that for a teachable moment. Next, let's move on. AR-15, Austin Reeves. He crushed last game. He had well. Tonight, I'm taking the under on his PRA. That's his PRA. His fantasy score? You know what? What is it? 27.5, I could see him getting that done, but I'll probably just stick to the under on it. If I'm going to take any Austin Reeves tonight, I would take the over on his real points, the under on his PRA, and the under on his fantasy score. However, just know when you take unders on shooters like this that they can burn you in a New York minute. Okay, they honestly can. If they get hot from beyond the arc, it's over. You're chalked. That's just how it is. So that's why just know it's a gamble. Same thing with Dylan Brooks. He's the same type of cat. No good, no good, ejected, no good, push. His fantasy score's at 22. He's another guy. He can just get hot out of nowhere, get a block and a steal, and then if you have the under, you're chalked. It's always a gamble. Always going to be a gamble when you take the unders on these low-key shooter role players because they can just show up and torch you in a New York minute. All right? So these are your two under candidates if you want to take the under on there. I'm not feeling it. I don't think either one of those unders will be in my main slip. I took Austin Reeves under PRA on Thrive, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do here on PrizePicks. All right, so we covered them. D'Angelo Russell, I'm just staying away. I don't like the over. I don't like the under. I don't know what to do with him. He always comes through when I least expect it, so I'm just staying away. Jaren Jackson, 42 fantasy points. I believe that's a little bit too high. He has been clearing this total, but barely. 43, 51, 52. If you're going to take Jaren Jackson, I would probably just stick to his points and rebounds or his PRA. If you want to touch this fantasy score for Jaren Jackson, just take the over. Do not take the under. I would just stay away or take the over. This is a guy, Xavier Tillman. I'm going to keep taking him until he costs me money. Win, win, win. I didn't have him here. Win. Okay? I don't know why, but he's getting the run and he's crushing. 26.5 fantasy points for a guy that's just getting it done. I don't care. If he's going to play 25 minutes, I'm going to keep playing him. He's a big man. He's young. He's hungry. For whatever reason, his fantasy score isn't getting higher. I'll continue to take it until it costs me. Okay? So we covered that game. Now we're almost done here. We got two more games. Giannis. I told you guys last video, everyone said Giannis isn't healthy, Giannis, blah, blah, blah. None of that stuff Stephen A. Smith talks about matters, okay? It's all hype, media hype to get them clicks. Giannis, if he wasn't healthy, trust me, he wouldn't play. He's on the court right now, 54 fantasy points. Is he 100% healthy? Probably not. No one is at this point in the league. But guess what? 54 fantasy points for a guy. Let me take a look here. Let's just take a look for giggles here, okay? 1.89 fantasy points per minute for the big man, Giannis, the Greek freak. 1.89 fantasy points per minute, okay? 1.89. 1.89 times 35 is 66. Okay, it's not even a question. If you just take the over here, if you're going to take this prop, you don't take the under. You take the over because he averages the fantasy point per minute. He almost averages 2 fantasy points per minute here. He absolutely crushes. He's a beast. He's the best at what he does. He's the Greek freak. I will take the over here, and if he sells, he sells. I don't care. I will take the over. Next, Jimmy Buckets, 48.5. This is what scares me. The spread scares me, but guess what? Yesterday, all 3 games were scheduled for a blowout too, and they were all really good games. So we could get Jimmy Butler, 48.5 right here, right now. 12-point dog. Can he get it done? Can Jimmy Buckets show up one more time for the boys and go for another 70 piece? Yes, I said 70 piece. He went for 70 last game. Can he get it done? I hope so. I will be having a lot of Jimmy Buckets tonight. I like his real points. I believe it's 29.5. I like his fantasy score. I just like Jimmy Buckets today. So those are my 2 favorites for this game right there. And you best believe, if you follow me at all and you know what I preach, you best believe I'm going back to the man, Drew Holiday. He sold by 0.1 fantasy points last game. That's craziness. 0.1 fantasy points. That hurts. It hurt me. It hurt you. It hurt our slips. It went from 25x to 2x. It is what it is. He's going to come through eventually. 35.5 is too low for this guy. Okay, last game it was at 36.5 and he got 36.4. Last game before that, 27, 46, 50. Granted, Giannis is back, but he hasn't been shooting well. I will take the over here on Drew Holiday. If you guys want to fade him because you have your superstitions, I just don't agree with that. If you want to fade the prop, that's fine, but don't take the under. Okay, that's what I'm saying there. You don't have to take the over, but don't take the under. Just fade the prop. It's that simple. Chris Middleton, not a big fan of his fantasy score. If I focus on Middleton, it'll be his real points. That's what I always do with him. Lopez, I said he was due a big game last game. He put up 62 fantasy points, fam. He crushed. Blocks, steals, you name it, he did it. If you want to go right back to the well with Brook Lopez, 31.5 fantasy points, you absolutely can. Take the over there. I don't hate it. That's a gut call on you guys. You guys decide what you want to do with that. Bam Adebayo, 34.5. He's your under candidate. I'm not going to take his under today because it should be at 36, but it's at 34.5. If you think, hey, Captain, it's going to be a blowout tonight, look at the spread. I don't think any of these guys are going to get there. Then just take the under on Bam and take the under on Jimmy if you got the stones for it. Me, I'm just going to move on. Curry, 47.5 fantasy points, the best game on the slate. Here it is, right here, right now. Curry, 47.5 fantasy points. I like the over. Full disclosure, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do here with Curry yet. I love Curry here tonight, but I think that 47.5 fantasy points is just a little bit too high. No chance I'm taking the under. I just don't know if I'm going to take his real points or his PRA or maybe his points assist. But for right now, this segment of the video, it's all fantasy scores. So 100% Curry is in play. They don't have Fox up here yet. I don't know why they don't have his fantasy score up here yet. Probably because he's been killing it. Or maybe he might not play tonight. I'm not sure. Let's check that out real quick. Okay. Darren Fox, Finger, said he'll most likely play Wednesday. This is 19 hours ago, and this is the information that we have. So we don't have Fox News yet, all right? But that is who you need to be following for fantasy news, by the way. All right, so we have Curry. We have him. We don't have a Fox prop yet. If Fox somehow sits, do not take this prop. But if Fox plays, Sabonis less 45.5 fantasy score, look at this. He just hasn't been getting it done. Whatever they're doing, whatever the Warriors are doing is working to keep him in check. He has good games, but he just isn't getting that ceiling game, which he has, that is 60. However, whenever you see 5 red bars like that, that's honestly telling you, hey, now's the time to take the over. His prop is deflated. Go ahead and take the over. But guess what? For me, I'm still going to take the under until he burns me because I just don't think the scheme that they have right now is just running through Curry and Fox. I don't really think Sabonis is going to get over 45 fantasy points. He absolutely can. So if you think he will, if you want to follow the theory, the Uno reverse, he's been red for 5. I'm taking the over. His prop is deflated. That's 100% sound theory and good to go, and I'm fine with it. So you can either take the over or the under. I'm fine with either. It's up to you. That's what's great about this. Everybody has their own takes. Klay Thompson, probably going to stay away from his fantasy score. He is the free square on Thrive Fantasy today, so if you play there and you're a new user, you get that freebie. I'll probably stick to his real points, but I'm not really going to go here. I will be going here. Andrew Wiggins over 31.5 fantasy points. He's just 47, 33, 29, 34. He's just been doing it all. He's been trending up. He's coming back. His fantasy score should be 35. It's still at 31. I'm taking the over, and whatever happens, I will deal with it later. Okay, I'm taking the over there. Same thing with Jordan Poole. He started last game. If he starts again, if Jordan Poole's in the starting lineup, you take the over here. You don't think about it. 26.5 fantasy points for Jordan Poole that's starting. That tells you he's probably going to get 30 minutes, and you know he's going to get hot if he starts. He has the potential to go for 50. I've seen it day in, day out. So these are your two Warriors, my two favorite Warriors right here. If he starts, that's a caveat. Don't be like, Captain, you said take Jordan Poole and he didn't go over. I said, bro, if he starts, make sure you pay attention, okay? Attention spans of peanuts, some of you. Make sure if he starts, that's when you take the over. If he doesn't start, just stay away. No reason to go there, all right? Kevon Looney, 29.5 fantasy score. Guess what? I've been taking it all series long, and it's been cash. I didn't have him here, thank God, but since he's been trending up, his minutes have been trending up, I'm still going to take it. The Warriors, what they're doing now is working. They're winning the games. So I will continue to take Kevon Looney over 29.5 fantasy score. If you want to take his rebounds and assists, that's 100% in play too. All right? Draymond Green, 29.5 fantasy. He's Draymond. I don't like him. I can't stand him personally. He's always in play. If you want to take him, go ahead. Keegan Murray, he crushed last game. I don't think he's going to do that again. However, if you want to take an under, Keegan would be your guy. Herter would be your guy. But again, we can't really take overs or unders on these guys until we know the news from Fox. Okay? Whatever Fox fantasy score is, if it's 45 and below, and he's going to play a full allotment of minutes, take the over. All right, we covered fantasy scores, everything that I liked here. Let's go over to real points and see what we got. Jalen Brunson, 23.5 real points. I like it. Okay. Donovan Mitchell, 29.5. This prop was all the way up to 32 the other day. If you want to gamble on D Mitch, if you think he's the only way they win, then I don't mind taking that. I'm personally not going to take it, but that's there. I love RJ Barrett over 17.5 points. Darius Garland, 21.5 points is in play. If you want a dice roll, Karis LeVert, 13.5 points is in play. But my favorite is just going to be Brunson. But again, I'm probably going to take his fantasy score and RJ Barrett. So I'm not sure, but I use Crushionomics, so I'll have multiple slips. Okay? LeBron James, 27.5 points. That's always in play. It just is. Am I going to take it? No. I'll take his fantasy score. Anthony Davis, this is way too low. 22.5 points for AD. It's just too low. Anthony Davis can go for 50 on any given night. If you want to take an AD prop, his points, rebounds is 100% in play. 22.5 is too low for AD. John Morant, 27.5, too low. I like it. I like his fantasy more, but he 100% can get 27.5 points. If you want to take his assist, I don't mind that either. Jaren Jackson, 19.5 real points. This is a good prop too. I don't care about the last 5. That's good. AR 15, 15.5. That's in play. Jaren Jackson's in play. Moving on, Dennis Schroeder, I'd probably take the under here, to be honest, under 7.5. Dylan Brooks, I'm not really going to go with Dylan Brooks, but that I hate to say it, but 13 points is in play for Dylan Brooks. But I'm not going to take the over. I'm not going to take the under. All right, Middleton, 19.5 real points, more. I like it. He's a shooter. He can get it done at any time. I don't care. If he gets hot, he can obliterate that line. Same thing with Jimmy Butler, 29.5 points. I'm taking it. I already have a slip with it. I will take it. If he sells, he sells. Guys, I don't care if I lose one night, okay? I'm a winner at the end of the year. That's all I care about. I will take the right plays at the right time. Jimmy Butler over. Drew Holiday, I know a lot of you guys took this last time with the community slip. It's in play. I like his fantasy point more. Brook Lopez, 15.5. I like his fantasy point more, but you can take Brook Lopez 15.5 points. Gabe Vincent, I'd probably if you want a few unders, I'd probably target Vincent. I'd probably target Bam, but I won't because I'm not taking too many unders today. I'm not doing it today. Max Struss under 9.5 points. I believe that's a good play. If Kyle Lowry's gonna keep taking his time and minutes, I would just take the under there. Okay, Sabonis, his point prop should be 18.5 and it's 19.5. This is a good under too. Unless Fox doesn't play. If Fox doesn't play, take the over all day. You can take Klay Thompson over 21.5 points. He's Klay Thompson. He's always in play. I love Curry tonight, but 32.5 real points. I don't know how I feel about this. We'll have to discuss this live. 32.5 points is a lot of points, guys. It just is. Aaron Wiggins, 17.5. This was at 19 the other night. 17.5. We're going to keep taking it. It's always going to be a good prop line for him. Continue to take it until he costs you money. Same thing with Jordan Poole. If he starts, however, 17.5, but I like his fantasy score more. Herter, you can take the under here unless Fox starts. 14.5 points is a lot for Herter. They're struggling right now with their offense outside of Fox. Keegan Murray picked up the slack last game. And yeah, so I think we've covered that. Whatever Fox's real points is, it's probably going to be in play. I like Donovan Mitchell over 5 assists. I like that. I like Ja Morant over 8 assists. Jimmy Buckets over 5.5 assists, always in play. Curry, 5.5 assists, always in play. Okay, let's take a look at personal fouls real quick. We're moving right along faster than I thought. They don't have Desmond Bane up here yet, but we will continue to take Desmond Bane over 3 fouls, just like we've been taking Aaron Gordon, and it's been cashing. Okay, Desmond Bane and Aaron Gordon over 3 fouls, 100%. If you want to gamble with Garland over 2.5 fouls, I don't hate it, but I'm not going there. LeBron James over 9.5 rebounds. I like that a lot. 100% in play. He's been crushing the glass. He's just been dominating the glass. Kevon Looney, 11.5 rebounds in play. These are your 2 favorite rebound props right here. Okay, I will be discussing more of this stuff on the live stream. I just wanted to get this out for you guys so you have a quick breakdown of what is what. Okay, let's take a look at Outlier bet real quick before we sign off, and let's take a look at these props. Let's take a look at the point props. Okay, so right now, Ja Morant under 27.5 points, minus 113. I am not taking the under on this, but I wanted to show you guys this because sometimes my opinion differs from what this is going to take, and you guys need to know this, okay? My opinion is my opinion. Sometimes I differ from the statistical analysis. So I wanted to show you guys that Anthony Davis has failed to exceed 23.5 points in 7 of his last games, all right? But the thing is that this doesn't calculate for is that these are playoff games, okay? Anything is possible in playoff games. So these regular seasons where they get these last 10, last 20, what this isn't accounting for is that these are playoff games. Whenever they get these last 10, last 20 stats, those were regular season games coming to the end of the season where half of these guys had no reason to play, all right? I don't factor that stuff in that much. But that being said, I just wanted to show you guys Outlier bet so you can see. If you want to get this app, it's very good for research. I see they're adding in plus EV tools, which is good. It's a good thing to have. If you want it, the link is going to be in my Linktree bio. Click it, you'll get 7 days free. Also, if you use my code Captain Crush, you'll get an additional 30 days free on top of that. Okay? Karis LeVert, under 3.5 assists. Let's see what this says. Last 20. He's been, here you go. I mean, it's minus 125 to go under. I don't even know if PrizePicks has that line, but some of you guys can bet on DraftKings and other things. So I just wanted to show you guys this right quick. Outlier bet, okay? I know a lot of you guys ask me about that all the time. That being said, we will go live today early. It'll probably be 3 Central. I appreciate you guys watching the video, listening to me ramble. I hope you learned something. I'll be posting stuff on Twitter. We will do the live stream. And if you're new here and you like the content, guess what? Give me a subscribe. It costs you nothing. Leave me a like. I appreciate it. Good luck. And as always, crush.